Guys, and thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you consider subscribing, and you can come back and keep up with all of this Planet Coaster craziness, mischief that we get in here. But yeah, so I am keeping the dream alive for Planet Safari one day. And for those of you that may be new or haven't played the game a lot, these little hippos are animatronics. So no, this is not a real zoo game. This is not Planet Safari or Zoo Tycoon. This is, in fact, still Planet Coaster. And now, you know, with the adventure pack that came out back to a little bit around, probably right around Christmas, we've got a bunch of animatronics now, like hippos and crocodiles and snakes and a bunch of different stuff now that I think I can use to maybe make us a little makeshift zoo here. But yeah, so as far as Planet Safari goes, there's probably been a lot of chatter ever since really early on in Planet Coaster's existence, when we found out of the fact that there was a Planet Safari trademarked by Frontier, like a law office trademarked that name for them. But then probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 months ago, I heard from a couple guys that were either at the Frontier Expo. I believe it was the Frontier Expo. So it might have been like 6 months ago. Actually got to talk to some of the developers, and apparently Planet Safari, to keep you up on the latest of what I know, was a backup plan in case Planet Coaster didn't sell. So that's what I heard from some pretty reliable sources that actually sat down and got to talk to the devs actually in London. You know, not too fairly long ago. So that is kind of the explanation they got. So really, as far as Planet Safari goes, I have no clue. It's totally up in the air. I don't know if maybe the devs just told them that to kind of keep the pressure off and kind of keep everybody from you know, lighting the forums up, wanting a Planet Safari game. We actually already know that with the Zoo Tycoon and Frontier's experience with Connectimals and all of that they definitely have you know, zoo simulation experience. And then of course, let's not forget the Jurassic World and the awesome animations that they have and that they were able to you know, to implement with their you know, with their dinosaur models and all that. So is a Planet Safari Zoo Tycoon game out of the question? Absolutely not. I mean, there's a lot of cynical people out there that are like, no, that'll never happen. It's not even being developed. It's, you know, that's been squashed. I don't think it's actually been squashed. I think it's something that will eventually happen. So you can quote me on that. August 12th, 2018, you can look back at your old boy Sdanwolf and say, you were right. Because even if you look at Frontier's financials and you know, different financial reports and investor reports and all that, a lot of them point to that they are going to continue developing games that they already have expertise in. So I don't look for Planet Coaster 2 to come out anytime soon. So what's another title that could possibly come out that they have expertise in? Well, the Jurassic World stuff's already passed. So the next logical step for me would be a standalone zoo game or an expansion pack for Planet Coaster. So that's where things get a little dicey. It's almost exactly split down the middle from people that want a giant Planet Safari expansion to where you can build your zoos and your you know, your theme parks, you know, all in one, a la, you know, Busch Gardens Tampa style. But then there's some, you know, hardcore zoo simulation people that say, no, we want a standalone zoo game because if they just do an expansion of Planet Coaster, it won't have the bones that they're looking for with a standalone zoo game. Where I sat on the fence, I would rather have it as an expansion. I really like the idea of building a zoo and having that side of the game, but not being restricted to where I can't build my coasters and stuff connecting with zoos and all that. So that is kind of where I sit on it. I'm more team expansion than team standalone Planet Safari game. So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. So yeah, like I said, I'm not into the negativity and like they'll never build a Planet Coaster. Like, you know, how do you know? Like, you know that they will not build one as good as I know they will. So the argument of they will never build one, that's just totally stupid and that's just nonsense to totally write it off like they'll never build one, especially when I've never heard concrete evidence. Like, as far as Bo coming out and saying there will never be a Jurassic World Evolution expansion, I believe that because she's literally come out and said it. So as far as there never being a Planet Coaster, I've never heard that before. So I'm just going to I'm going to keep on rolling with it and hoping that one day it happens. So yeah, that is kind of my stance on it. And so actually, once we get into the little park here, the main reason that I've come back into this is I remember that back when I first started this little kind of like fake enclosure, it actually started out as an elephant enclosure, and I had Rudy's little elephant statue up here. And, you know, that was really, really cool. But this was the first time I'd actually went into the park with the adventure pack that, you know, like I said, that come out back in Christmas. So that's how long it must have been since I've actually came into this map. And so yeah, I figured today was a good day to just sit down and start trying to implement some adventure theming actually inside this little map. So yeah, I've kind of extended out this little sanctuary here, and we've got it doesn't work out totally like I want it, but it's basically like their little they've got a little extension that comes underneath the path that they can swim down and over. They can kind of swim over from the main area over into their little pond here. So people kind of you know, walking by, I don't know what these three stooges are doing following each other, but yeah, the people walking over here on this side of the little path and the shopping and the restaurants and stuff can actually catch some hippos over here. And if you're over here in the main sanctuary, you can catch them over here too. So I've also got this little glassed in area I thought was pretty cool. You can kind of look down at their kind of like at their little quarters where you would imagine if they had to get in and trank them and you know, administer some veterinary care, stuff like that, they could do it in there. And if, you know, if they just kind of wanted to get in out of the sun, they could go back in their little hut there or get down in the water to cool off. And yeah, I brought in the little crashed airplane here, a little just a memento to kind of anchor that side of the path. And yeah, from the design aspect, I really thought it was cool to bring in my old, remember my Crocodile Jack's tower. Just has such a, you know, essentially, yes, a towering presence over the whole area. And I think it just aesthetically, it's so cool to just have that really big tower, kind of, like I said, it just has such a presence over the little hippo lagoon. And, you know, I know we have glass now, but this was back... Okay, so this was obviously before we did glass because I still use the old little jewel method, which ironically enough, now that we actually have glass, that really still looks pretty cool. Kind of really has that old world type of glass feel that even now, like you can see, like, okay, the glass we have now is cool, but as far as this like old kind of, you know, African vibe that I'm going with here, that makeshift glass from the jewels really helps sell that African kind of bizarre African market type of story. So really, really pleased with how that turned out. And so yeah, guys, that's basically what I've been messing with all day, this whole little hippo sanctuary area. And even haven't really kind of come back to this little this little enclosure yet. Don't really know what that'll be. You know, some of this will just have to be implied. Of course, you know, now that we have the crocodile animatronics, I'll have to do a really cool crocodile enclosure, because obviously you'll be able to the guests will be able to see them, so may do that out here somewhere. As far as my blueprints go, I've got some really cool African blueprints that I brought over from the Pride Rock Park. I figure if I ever end up doing if we ever make this a legit park, I've got like a really cool entrance area we can kind of use, or just kind of use that for a lot of different things. And also, I was able to bring in the train station from the Pride Rock build. So I even thought like that might even look cool. Kind of, I don't want to get this area too cluttered, but you know, just to give us something to build off of. See how that right there, the whole train station vibe. It doesn't even have to be a train station, just that whole kind of African vibe that I was going with in the Pride Rock Park, I think can work out really cool right here as well. So yeah, guys, I will go ahead and leave it to you down in the comments to keep this thought going about this Planet Coaster Planet Safari situation, and as always, let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you think of this build as a whole. If you kind of like what's going on here, and if you think it looks really cool. I think it does. I've spent all Sunday kind of, you know, just kind of sitting here tweaking it and just getting different design standpoints going. Brought the little statue guy in, thought that was really cool. And so yeah, like I said, just let me know down below if you end up enjoying this video, and smash that like button if you do. And yeah, we will just continue. This will be another little side project of ours that we keep checking in on as I do more to it. So anyways, guys, I'm Sdanwolf. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you. See you guys. Hey,